What's up, everyone? Nick from Comic Culture here. It's time for Nick at Night, my weekly comic book review show. Let's get into the books I read this week. We're going to actually start over in DC. We have a couple Absolute books. Absolute Green Lantern issue number 3 is out. So it's got to be one of my least favorite Absolute books out right now, to be honest with you. So we're 3 issues in. This was supposed to be the issue where we got a lot of the meat and potatoes, the rationale, what is actually going on inside this universe, right? This Absolute Green Lantern universe. We didn't get it. We got some more science experiments throughout the issue, some more confusion about like why that's the case. We don't really know what's going on inside that town, why the bubble's there, what's the ultimate goal still inside this issue. We're 3 in. Usually 3 is that magic number, right? Where we get a little bit more exposition, a little bit more of the why things are happening. Didn't get it inside of this one. We have a lot of the same stuff we saw in the previous 2 issues, which is not that great, guys. This book is already struggling to stay on my pull list, and we're just getting more of the same, I would say, inside of this series so far. And it's really kind of bumming me out, man. So I'm really interested to know what you guys are thinking about this one. Where does it fall in your ranking of Absolute books? For me, it's towards the bottom, guys. I don't know if I'm going to keep reading it. Flash is in that same area as well right now, so not looking too great for Absolute Green Lantern right now. Al Ewing and team, not really delivering it for me, guys. I want to know what you're thinking, though, down below. We have the sequel to a big book that came out a little while ago, Justice League vs. Godzilla vs. Kong. This is volume number 2, issue number 1 is out right now. So if you haven't read the original one, it's insane. It's absurd. So what the heck are we even going to handle inside of here? Well, the Legion of Doom is still kind of on the mend right now. They had a plan to save the world and everything. Of course, the heroes get in the way, whatever. There's a lot of crazy stuff that happened. I recommend checking that out if you haven't yet. But here we are right here. So Lex is with the Legion right now. He's being pulled into a team now with the Suicide Squad and Amanda Waller and everything. And so they have their own idea of how they're going to utilize some of this new technology, some of the new revelations that they've gained since fighting these giant kaiju, these titans, right? We also have the Justice League doing a little bit of reconnaissance work on their own. They have the celebration they're going through in the beginning of this issue here. There's a little bit of drama around that, but then they get thrown into the mix pretty quickly, taking on some of these titans as well. And their paths haven't quite crossed just yet, but they're kind of racing towards the same goal in a way in this book. I will say that for an issue number 1, I really wanted to see something that's going to like grip me, right? Something that's going to hold my attention, something that's going to be blowing me away. We have these titans, we have the Justice League, we have the Legion of Doom, we have all these cool characters in the book, but there wasn't a single point where I was like, yes, I want more of that. We got some cool Titan stuff. King Shark's in here a little bit. He does some interesting things, but he's kind of a victim in the game in this series so far. And man, I don't know. It just didn't grip me like I knew it wouldn't, I guess. So anyways, Justice League Godzilla Kong, volume 2, issue number 1. I don't know, guys. What'd you guys think? Let's go back to the Absolute Universe. Absolute Superman issue number 8 is out right here. Jason Aaron on this one. I really like Absolute Superman. It's in that, top 3 for sure in the Absolute books, in my opinion, right now. So, the first several issues, it was a lot of, recounting events, right? Like what happened on Krypton, what happened during Superman's origin or his, home planet and whatnot. Why was that different than our current day? Or how was that different, rather? So we explored that. He's got a cool Spawn cape, which we see in full effect throughout the issues and inside of here as well. He's back on Earth right now. He's dealing with Jimmy Olsen and Lois Lane. They're trying to figure out exactly like how they can coexist. Like Lois is part of one faction, Jimmy's on the other side, Superman's thrown in the middle right here, and we have other factions and other players around this world that are manipulating things, pulling the strings. And so it's just a cool story from that perspective, I would say. It is an ongoing series, and it certainly reads like that. Like, I don't think we're going to have any conclusions, any endings, any major things happening anytime soon because it's ongoing. Why would it? It's going to be dragging out. The pace is going to be steady the entire time. Whereas in a limited series or something like that, you have these spikes and you have some kind of conclusion to look forward to, something to build towards. We have that in this book, but it just feels different because it's an ongoing. I will say that the beginning of this book was super shocking, guys. Like, Ra's al Ghul is a badass inside this universe. The things he does in here while on a board meeting, like conference call kind of a thing, insane, shocking. So I love the world building inside of here. It's probably got the best world building of any of the books so far in the Absolute Universe. It's the one where you understand a lot of the ins and outs way more than any other book out right now. The other thing I really like is the artistic style inside of here. Lots of deep reds, lots of action, lots of character designs that are really unique and distinct. So I think from the art side, they're handling it really well. The world building is really interesting. The character difference between our proper universe is really cool and compelling. I like the origin stories too. It's just got that ongoing vibe to it. I want to see like a conclusion. I want to see something that we're building up to or ramping up to. And it hasn't quite gotten there just yet, but it's a really, really interesting book. Highly recommend this one if you haven't read it. All right, let's hop over to Marvel next. We have Storm issue number 9. Look at that amazing Jeff decal variant right there. I think it's a 1 in 25. That is awesome. He's going to be at Heroes Con. He's probably going to have a print of this potentially there. Definitely check him out. Super nice dude. He's awesome. Cannot wait to see him again. So Storm has been a book I've been dipping in and out of. I hear it's got this gigantic cosmic landscape around it, and it certainly does. Storm is actually like the avatar for some of the impossible cosmic beings that are out there, and it's using her abilities or using her body to perform certain actions and things like that, take on threats and whatever. And it's been pretty cool to see what that means. It has a hierarchy issue, I would say. It's like these beings, these entities or whatever have been around forever, right? They're eternal. But at the same time, they have a lot of the, rationale and bitterness of human beings in a way. And maybe that's like a reflection of ourselves. That's like an interesting thing that I have a problem with these kinds of books. They should have a different perspective with time and experience that they have. But they don't. They have the same kind of bitterness and whatever that we all have, jealousy and whatnot. So, you have to get over all of that stuff. But if you're somebody who loves the cosmic landscape of the Marvel Universe, you love to see who's more powerful than who and who's fighting who and things like that, who's really pulling the strings behind the scenes. Definitely check out Storm because it unpacks a lot of that stuff inside of here and changes the status quo. So this book really has a lot of cool perspective to it, that cosmic perspective like I was talking about, but it also has a real grounded feel to it. Storm's still taking on local level threats, dealing with those relationships from new and old and whatnot, bringing in some other players from old X-Men lore and things like that. So it's got a lot of cool things happening with it. And again, if you love that cosmic perspective, definitely check out Storm if you haven't yet. All right, continuing Marvel, we have ASM issue number 5. We have Joe Kelly on this one. We have Pepe Larraz on it as well. I don't even know where to start with this book. So I will say that through 5 issues, Pepe Larraz's art has been the best thing about this story so far, I will say. Unfortunately, he's not going to be back on the book if you believe solicitations you see on like League of Comic Geeks, things like that. The book is going to start coming out again like every 2 weeks, and JR is going to take over some of the duties on that. And I think there's going to be some other guest artists in the next couple of months as well. So I don't see Larraz really on this book for another 5 issues, maybe. And even then, it's kind of rumored that he's going to be back. Correct me if I'm wrong down there. Then you get the story itself. The story's not great. Hobgoblin comes back. He poisons the water, or wants to. He starts poisoning sodas and soft drinks, and he has this scheme, right, to poison everything with this anxiety kind of a compound. So it's going to make everyone on edge, right? And then he's going to sell the antidote to them just to get rich. So he's going to cause chaos through anxiety, through consuming products. Then he's going to sell medication and over-medicate the population as well, just so he can like profit on that. But then at the same time, he's going around trying to kill Spider-Man and take out these villains and whatnot. It's like a super, super soft story, I would say. Not digging that one at all. And what a waste of Pepe Larraz's talent, to be honest, too. Like, they threw in other characters like Rhino, and they have some other characters in here, too, to add those cool splash destruction pages in the street. But, like, the story was okay. It's better than what we've seen, that I've seen so far in ASM in the last couple of years, but it was still kind of cringy, and I really wanted something deep, impactful. And we just didn't get that with ASM. Cool that we got Pepe Larraz on it, but now we're going to get JR back, and we're going to be right where we were 6 months ago with ASM, I would say. So not really a fan of what's going on right now. I'm probably going to drop it after this. I might read the first issue, maybe issue number 6, and see what's going on there. I don't know, guys. I was really disappointed in this one. What'd you guys think down below? All right, let's go over to the Ultimate Universe next. We have Ultimate Wolverine issue number 6. Chris Condon on this one. We have a guest artist on here, of course. And so what's going on inside of here? We get the ultimate version of Legion. Legion in this universe is more of an AI program in a way. His entire mind is captured inside of technology, and Beast is using his means to free him, to expand him, to mature him a little bit. And they're actually using Legion to get inside of the mind of the Winter Soldier in this universe and unlock Logan a little bit, right? Bring him back to his original state, which is awesome to do. I really like that combination. I like that idea a whole lot, and they executed it really well, I thought. The whole issue kind of goes back and forth between Wolverine, Logan, and Legion, like in this computer programming kind of a way, and there's a conversation between them. They're learning about each other, and ultimately it leads to Wolverine kind of snapping out of it a little bit and getting reoriented as to like who the true villains are in this world. So I really like the the tool that Legion was in this process. I thought that was handled really, really well. Art was pretty cool as well. There wasn't a whole lot of action or anything going on right there. So a guest artist was okay in this issue. And now we're going to get our Wolverine back, man. And I cannot wait to see what he does. Ultimate Wolverine issue number 6, not a bad issue. Let me know if you read it. Let's jump over to Star Wars. We have Jedi Knights issue number 4, highly critical of issue number 3 because it didn't do that issue 3 thing that it should have done, like I've already talked about before. But inside of here, we're dealing with this weird thief, right? She's going around. She's very, very smart. She's actually stealing from one of the senators, but the senator has some shady past and whatnot. And so it leads to a lot of bounty hunters tracking her down right now because it was a robbery and the senator was involved. Of course, the Jedi get involved and they're hot on the tail. We see some Jango Fett in here. We get a little bit of the Hutt action in this book too. And we get to see some Jedi action inside of here. A lot of manipulation of the scenes and whatnot, or diversions and everything. It's a big escape issue, right? I stole from somebody I shouldn't have stolen from. Now all of a sudden everyone's after me. And what do I got to do? I have Jedis I have to deal with, bounty hunters and everything else. So I got to like be smart and play my hands right to escape the situation. That's what this issue is all about. It's not about the plot that we were given in the first couple of issues, which is like this untimely death of Qui-Gon in a way, right? It doesn't follow that at all. It kind of takes us in another direction, which is kind of annoying because that's what we had in the third issue too. Third issue and now fourth issue. I want a continuous thread, guys. I want one story. I want to be introduced to it in the first couple of issues. I want it to mature, and I want some kind of conclusion at 5 or 6, right? Then we can go into the next thing. We're kind of all over the place with Jedi Knights right now, which is disappointing because I love the first 2 issues. Issue 4 is out. Let me know if you read it. Let's go back to the Ultimate Universe Spider-Man Incursion issue number 1. So we have Cody Ziegler on this one. We have Dennis Camp as well. So Ziegler probably handles the Miles aspects of all this, and we probably have Camp doing the Spider-Man and whoever else aspects of this. So what's going on inside of this issue? Well, we knew eventually that Miles would have to come into our Ultimate Universe. We didn't know exactly how that was going to happen. We know the Maker gave him an access card or a way to get there. We know that Miles' younger sister took it and hid it and activated it or whatever, and we cover a lot of that inside of here. So how he gets to this universe is covered very quickly in the first 2 pages of the book. Inevitably, some of our Spider-Men from our Ultimate Universe now, our new Peter and his son, are going to be running into Miles and handling some business, and they have some questions and things like that. Miles is a veteran at being a Spider-Man at this point. So there's a lot of jealousy. There's a lot of a lot of conversations rather that Peter has with his son about what that means and all of that. We get Spot showing up in here, although it's like an Ultimate Universe version of Spot, I suppose. So he doesn't quite know what he's doing or anything like that, but he's just on the attack right now, which is kind of cool. I think the most interesting part about this book, though, is now that something else has entered the universe and it has a different signature to it, a lot of the different council members are attracted to it. They got reports that something has happened and they don't exactly know what it is. It has the same energy signature as the Maker, right? Because they're from the same universe. And so a lot of them are going to be hot on the tail of Miles right now. And he's just trying to find his sister who jumped in the portal as well. So there's going to be a lot of cool things happening inside this book. This one right here, I felt like the interaction between Miles and our Peter Spider-Man in this universe, I didn't like that chemistry a whole lot. There's a jealousy undertone there, which maybe rightfully so. But at the end of the day, they're like, all right, man, good luck with your quest. We're going to go home and hang out because it's bedtime kind of a thing. So it didn't feel natural to me. I don't know, guys. Let me know if you guys read this one down below. All right, next up from Marvel, we have The World to Come. We have Marvel Knights, Quesada, and Priest on this one. Issue number 1 out this week. I haven't really personally gotten into a lot of the Marvel Knights stuff, but I actually enjoyed this book. If you're into Wakanda, if you're into some of the succession rituals, things like that, I think you're going to dig this book a lot. We have this tale, we have this narrator that we're learning who they are throughout this entire story, talking about their experiences and their lessons learned and their interactions with different kings and whatnot. I don't want to really give it away, but they go through a lot of that stuff, the initiation process, how to become the next king and whatnot. And we're in a time right now where we need the next person to step up. So who's next in line? That's what the story is all about inside of here. But this person's a little bit unwilling at the moment. They had a lot of issues with being part of that culture in the past, and we outline that in various anecdotes throughout this entire story. I did really enjoy the artistic style inside the book. There's lots of great coloring in here as well. But again, this story is really just anecdote after anecdote after anecdote. And there's a little bit of a surprise at the end, I suppose. Maybe if you're not in the know, then you're not going to really resonate with it. That's kind of where I am, to be honest with you. So I think my combination of not really being into the Marvel Knight stuff, not really enjoying a whole lot of Wakandan style books. I read this one with pretty fresh eyes. I had a good time with it. Art was really cool. I think the story was somewhat compelling as well. I'll be sticking around with this one, seeing where it goes. Let me know where you fall, though, down below. All right, next one, we have another big book out this week from Jonathan Hickman. We have Vincentini on this as well. We have Imperial issue number 1. So this is taking a particular aspect of the Marvel cosmos, right? It's adding a bunch of characters that I don't necessarily care too much about, and it's adding like a political drama, assassination kind of thing on top of it. I hate all those things, but this one really, really works. I'm loving this one a lot. I think it has a lot to do with the fact that it's centered around the Hulks in the beginning. So we have like Worldbreaker Hulk. We also have Amadeus Cho, and we also have She-Hulk and things like that. They're going back to the planet because there's a death in the family. I'll let you figure this stuff out. So the whole world is kind of at war right now, right? Who's going to be the toughest one? Who's going to be the new leader in this planet? And of course, we have Worldbreaker Hulk and his team coming in here to set the record straight and see what's going on. There is somebody out there killing these different kings and rulers and whatnot from all these different areas. All these areas are going to be eventually getting together in this one common area to develop plans for the future, right? And we get to see exactly like who's running this, who's responsible, who should be part of this council. And we get to see like how common all these assassinations are across the way. And everyone's a little bit on edge right now. And of course, everything goes to hell towards the end of this issue. And we have a pretty good idea who might be the one that's causing all this trauma right now for everybody else. And we're going to be heading in that direction. But guys, I don't know if it's true or not, who they suspect, but if it is, they're going to have a hell of a time at trying to take this culture down, I would say. So a lot of great world building in here, a lot of cool characters. It's a drama. It's political. It has a lot of interesting things happening. It blew me away, to be honest with you. So this one was really great. Let me know if you read it. All right, let's go over to the indies. Next, we have Plague House issue number 3. This is from Oni Press right here. It's a pretty interesting story, I would say. So there are some like supernatural investigators that we meet in the first issue. They're going around the areas they're investigating. There's actually murders that happen there, and there's spirits, right? Restless spirits in the area. That one of those spirits, they can latch on to one of our guys right here, use him as an avatar to get revenge on the people who killed them potentially in the past. Like if you're somebody who is murdered in one spot and your soul's restless and it's in that area haunting people, he can actually tap into that person or that spirit and go seek revenge on the person that killed them to begin with. So it's a pretty cool premise inside of here. So there is an interesting point to the story. Also, the artwork is hit or miss for me. We get these cool splash pages from time to time, but otherwise it's kind of a sketchy, it's gritty, it's dark. Things like that are going on. And, you know, it's okay from a visual perspective, but it's not absolutely blowing me away. And that's kind of what the story is all about, too. I like the idea of the story, but the execution of it is just a little bit clunky, I would say. But Plague House, we have issue number 3 out. It's been a cool story. If you're into the supernatural, if you like supernatural investigations, things like that, possessions, this might be a book for you. Let me know if you're reading it. All right, let's close it out with Image Comics right now. We have Kaya issue number 27. Wes Craig on this one. Kaya is just an extraordinary story, guys. If you haven't read it in collected edition, definitely do so. It's very, very quick. It's compelling, bright, beautiful colors, amazing artwork. It's just a hero's journey kind of a thing, but with a little bit of drama thrown in on there as well. So where are we with Kaya? Man, I really wish these issues were double sized because we get just a little bit from every single storyline, but it's always gold, man. I love this one a lot. We still have Razel and we have Kaya that are just not getting along right now. He's still a shifty dude. We keep getting all these little foreboding moments inside of here, these little looks, these snarls, these comments, things like that. He's always pushing Kaya's buttons about, you know, his experience, his past, her lack of being raised by a father and learning some of those lessons and things like that. There's almost like this resentment or jealousy that Kaya has towards him that doesn't help the situation, especially since he's really leaning into Jin and maturing his powers of like transformation and things like that. So Kaya's been kind of pushed to the side a little bit and she hates that. Jin, on the other hand, is maturing his powers of being able to transform into different things. We get to see a little bit of that inside of this book on a small scale, but on command, which is a big deal. Based on where we are in Jin's development right now. There's like this camp, right? There's where all these different slaves are. They're working in the mines and everything. And one of the goals right now is to free them. And they have a plan to do so with some of the other allies that they have gotten along the way. So all they need to do is get all these different people that are being held prisoner on board with this whole thing, and we can escape. And so we have a time for that. And it's going to be interesting to see how exactly that works. Some characters that we haven't seen in a while come back into the issue right here, almost to the point where I'm like, do I remember that character? I got to go back and see what's going on. There's been been so much happening inside this book that I've kind of forgotten some of the characters. So this is a really, really intriguing book. It's kind of like Saga, but on this one planet. It's got that kind of relationship quality to it, I would say, but it's not as mature, obviously, but it's still really compelling sci-fi fantasy. It's a drama. It's action-packed, really, really interesting. Definitely recommend checking this one out. Let me know if you did. All right, lastly, we have The Moon is Following Us, issue number 10, Daniel Warren Johnson, Riley Rosbo, and Mike Spicer on this one. Get your tissue boxes out, guys, because it's one of those kinds of stories, and we knew it was coming for sure. So we have two parents essentially trying to rescue their daughter who's in this hypnotic dream state right now. All of her memories, her fears, and everything are come to life, Toy Story style, inside this dream stage, right? The parents got duped into going in there, giving up some of their power, and so we learned a little bit about that betrayal and backstabbing. We learned some about the girl's dreams and nightmares being allies inevitably inside of the story, and there's the armies of people that are getting together to save essentially the soul of this child. We battle the demons of the mother and the father in previous issues, some of those real traumatic experiences through their life that has affected them as adults. Some of those we can overcome. Some of them are too dark and just embedded that we can't really do anything about it, but we're going to push forward when the time comes regardless. Sacrifice plays being made left and right inside of here, leveling up, Super Saiyan modes inside of this story here, but ultimately there's tragedy, but there's also happiness inside this book. I think they did that delicate walk right there, right? That balancing act that you have to really have the entire emotional range explored inside of a story, and they definitely nail it inside of here. So yes, we do overcome the odds. Yes, we do win the day, but at what cost? And you know, what does the future actually look like for these characters after all of this has happened? We do have some time jumping in here to explore what that means, and get your tissue boxes ready, because that's where we are right there. I will say in a collected edition, reading them back to back to back, this would be extraordinary. It's definitely worth a spot on your Daniel Warren Johnson wall, I would say. Very, very emotional book. I think it sticks to landing, personally. Moon is Following Us, number 10. Let me know if you read it. All right, guys, that's what I read this week. I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know what you read and what your favorite books of the week were down below. While you're down there, like, subscribe, share, hit that bell notification to be alerted whenever I put out new videos. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the comments.